Hello, my name is Ilona, and I first want to start by looking at the energy of what's going on with monkeys. There are rare cases now of people getting sick that's connected to monkeys. Around the world, more and more cases are popping up. To me, this feels like the dark energies. This is probably one of the last things they have up their sleeve. So I just want to see what the cards will say about that. We have the Five of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Four of Pentacles in the past. We have the Two of Swords underneath the central card and the Ten of Wands for the near future, the future, and the Tower. Well, to me, this feels like it's something from the dark energies, but the white hats are trying to contain it and are working to keep this, this contained as possible. So to me, this feels like the dark energies were hoping on a much bigger spread of what's going on. And I have a feeling that it's not going to be as big as they hoped or planned for. To me, this also kind of reminds me of what's been going on the last 2 years with something they also released around the world. And of course, we had all these restrictions going on and rules concerning what's being released. To me, this feels like the White has also stepped in and made sure it was way less deadly than probably what the Dark Hats had in mind. Especially if we look back at what's happened and all these restrictions, and you can see now that what the death rate really is, it's kind of ridiculous how everyone responded. So to me, this is a sign that the Dark Hats were hoping or planning on something way more deadly than what's being released or how it's being released. And I think they've tried this again. This is another way of creating panic and hoping this would have a bigger spread. That this would be maybe the next thing they could, start creating restrictions, rules around. And I think that the White Hats are stepping up and making sure that this gets contained. And probably in the near future, more and more cases will come up, but it will be on a very small scale. So I don't think we have to truly worry about that. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if more and more things are coming out about the old structure, about the dark energies. And maybe they will be able to see where this comes from and maybe which lab this has created. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if things will come out that will have another effect of old system collapsing. But in the near future, there can still be more and more cases popping up, although the White Hats are really trying to contain everything. And there could also be a connection with the wasp sting. It's very likely that the people that are affected have some problems with their immune system, and that's why they're actually getting it. So we'll have to wait and see. To me, this feels quite contained. I do believe that the White Hats are making sure this doesn't get any bigger than what the Dark Hats have in mind. But we are going to get more and more cases popping up. And I think things will come out that will have an effect, collapsing old systems. So some truth can come out about this situation, where it's coming from, which lab it created this. I think more things like that will come out. It's also a way of telling people what's been going on. So now I'd like to take a look at the United States of America. First of all, I just want to mention a few things. We have Twitter and Elon Musk really showing everyone what Twitter is all about. He wants proof that there is only 5% of the bots going on there. There's only 5% fake accounts. That's actually what Twitter said, but Elon Musk did his own thing. He checked himself and found there were at least 30%. So Twitter has to prove now that there are less than 5% bots. So that's interesting, because I don't think they're capable of doing that. Or he's not going to pay all the money that he put up for Twitter. interesting, it's also showing the advertisers what's going on Twitter. They're probably not going to be very happy to find out that there are so many fake accounts, because you're not going to get any money from that. Then we have Project Veritas about Twitter, to undercover interviews with Twitter employees, trashing free speech, saying that they're not making any money, which is also interesting for the advertisers. And this isn't about making money, but having a certain agenda. They want to push a certain agenda, very leftist, and I'm talking about commies, as I think one of them mentioned in the interview. And the second person they interviewed actually made fun of Elon Musk for the fact that he has a form of autism. So Twitter is let's just say, not doing great, which is perfect, because Elon Musk is really showing what's going on, and the people can now see what's going on, and that's the most important thing. If I'm not mistaken, he actually pinned a tweet about the second interview the Project Veritas made with a Twitter employee. So a lot of people have seen that. And that's the way you it's very difficult just to say things to people, just to tell them things. You have to show them. Show, don't tell. And this is a perfect way of that, of showing people what's been going on. That has a way more effect than just telling people. And of course, we also have Durham. The case is, the trial's on since Monday. Unfortunately, there were false flags on Sunday, which was expected. They were hoping, of course, the black hats to draw away the attention from what's going on with Durham. I believe there will be more false flags. I believe it's connected to people that have been programmed, that have been MK Ultra, or how do you say that? They've had MK Ultra, and they're now pushed to the forefront to do all these horrific things. So my heart goes out to the people that were involved in this situation. Unfortunately, there will be probably more of these false flags coming. And false flags means that it seems one way, but it really has a different agenda. And I think the dark energies are behind this, to create panic, to create a distraction of what's really truly going on. So I'm just going to take a look at the energy of the United States of America right now. We have the Six of Swords. We have the Death card as the central card. That's interesting. We have Temperance in the past. We have the Six of Cups. And we have two cards, two aces. The Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. That is beautiful. Completely new beginning. So I think, and especially with the Six of Swords, moving away from things, moving away towards something completely new. We have the Death card. Well, the Death card is really about endings and again a new beginning. So there's a lot of new beginning cards here. These talk about new beginnings, and new beginnings, like a truly new beginning, because that's the Ace of Pentacles. The Pentacles is the element Earth. So that's very like completely new way of starting. So I do think things will change in the United States of America, and people will truly see that. It will also be a completely new beginning emotionally, new connections, a new way of looking at things. So this period we're facing now in the United States is going to be very, very important. That's the feeling I'm getting. We have to, of course, wait and see. We have the Children's card again, and I do believe things are coming out more and more about children. I think it's important. People need to know. People need to be shown what's been going on. They need to see it with their own eyes. So I do believe that things like that will come out more the USA is moving in a completely different direction, especially with the Death card. We have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Ace of Cups. That's so obvious that they're moving away and heading towards a new future, a bright future, I might say, and a completely different future. I do believe that globally we're heading towards something completely new. But when this exactly going to happen, it's very tough to say. I actually talked with someone and we both had the feeling that it should have happened already. This may sound strange, but I do believe that things were postponed. The White Hats saw things probably concerning children, like the Ukraine. There were more children than they were expecting. Things underneath the ground, certain things were taking up more time. That's the feeling I'm getting. So I might want to just take a look at where we're at with the White Hats, just to see what the energy is right now. Because the feeling I get is that it should have already happened, but there were all these things that the White Hats were not expecting and kind of postponed things. So I'm just going to see what the energy is right now. We again have the Six of Swords. That's moving away. We have the Four of Cups as the central card. We have the Emperor in the past. We have the Seven of Cups underneath the central card. And we have the Ace of Pentacles for the future and the High Priestess. This says to me that yes, it should have been, how do you say this? What we were expecting, what's supposed to have happened, should have happened, or at least was in the planning to happen sooner. So that's probably why people were sensing, well, it could happen now any day. And that's probably the feeling that we were getting. But unfortunately, there were things that were unexpected, things that probably weren't completely planned or happened, that the White Hats couldn't see or saw at the last moment, and were like, well, we have to work with this. So to me, things are still happening. Like, we are on the timeline, at least I am, where ultimately things will be put right, so to speak. So things will turn out for the good. We are going to go through a chaotic period. That's nothing. People will react to things coming out about a wasp sting. We see the damage of the wasp sting now every day around us. People are going to be shocked. There will be panic. People are, we have, at least in the Netherlands, a lot of people, a lot of personnel like falling away. There's like a shortage of personnel, and that's most likely has to do with the wasp sting. People are getting sick, people can't work. So we have a lot of things happening there. So it's going to be chaotic. But I think the White Hats, there are things they weren't expecting. So they had to adjust. It is a spiritual war. It is a war. So you have to adjust. But I do believe that we are moving away from these old systems. They are working very hard to create something new. And of course, we have to do our part by working on our energies and starting to take responsibility for that, not giving away our powers to everyone outside of ourselves, but really start to say, this is what we want to start creating. This is what we want for humanity. This is what we want for Earth. Very, very important. So right now it's a bit confusing. I think a lot of people are a bit confused, like, what's going on? Why is it taking so long? I thought it should have happened. And that's the feeling I had. And what I'm getting from these cards, it was supposed to have happened already. We're still waiting, things happening, and we just have to trust the process. Whatever's going to happen will happen, and we have to stay strong in our own energy, in our connection with God and in our intuition, and trust that it will work out and work on ourselves, and not giving away our energy to anyone else but to God and to ourselves, and to uniting humanity and really manifesting this new world. So for the future, more and more, I think secrets will come out, and we probably will hear what has happened. It will come out, and this is like a new beginning. We are heading towards a new beginning. That's of course the same card we saw with the United States of America. And I think we are heading towards something beautiful, something new. But like I've said before, it will be chaotic. There will be a chaotic period because people will start to understand what's been happening. Truths will come out, secrets will come out, and it can shock people. It will truly be a shock, and we do have to face the effects of the wasp sting. As like I mentioned before, we're in the Netherlands, we're starting to see things, and I'm sure globally people are starting to notice and starting to see things. So I want to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!